All right, guys, we got a great treat tonight. I've got Christina Stamper with Madison's Miracles with me tonight. And the reason I wanted to have her on is we're throwing a huge monster white party, Madison's Miracles white party on September 3rd at Grand Construction. And it's going to be at 6:30. We're having monster giveaway prizes. It's a $10 ticket to get in. You get a raffle ticket to win one of these prizes. Obviously, if you've got money, bring your money because we want you to buy a bunch of tickets. But what I really wanted to bring Christina on for is the story behind why we're giving her the money, right? What is she doing with the money? Who is it going to go to help? She's got an incredible story, and I just wanted to give her a chance to share it. So, Christina, I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, Joe. I so appreciate you inviting us to come here, inviting me to come here and talk about Madison's Miracles. Madison was my daughter. I was 6.5 months pregnant when I went to a doctor's appointment, and I heard those words, "I'm sorry, there's no heartbeat." Now, for an expectant mother and father, it is the absolute worst news that you can ever imagine to hear. And so we delivered her within hours, and I got to see her and spend 2 hours to say hello and goodbye. And then that moment was gone.
Yeah.
And I sat there looking at each other in a blank room, not sure what to do, not sure who to call, just had no idea. Now, if it wasn't for a nurse in the room that had a digital camera in her locker, because cell phones weren't what they are today back in 2007. She was able to take 5 pictures, and these 5 pictures are all I have of my little girl.
Yeah.
So fast forward 9 years later, after I experienced this loss, I found that there was a company in the UK, Flexmort, and they came up with a device called a cuddle cot. Now, a cuddle cot is a cooling pad that can be hidden in a bassinet or a bed. And what it does is it keeps a baby cool. So those physical changes that happen quickly after passing aren't seen by the families and can promote a healthier closure. Now, for you to grasp that, my 2 hours, you can imagine how fast that went.
Yeah.
Now, with what Madison's Miracles does with training the nurses, we give them hands-on training, we give them booklets, we give them resources, we have Q&As where they can ask us questions, and they can explain to the family what's happening, what decisions need to be made, and that they can pick up their baby and hold their baby as long as they want to. They can take pictures, they can examine their baby and see the similarities between the husband and the wife and other siblings if there's any. Grandparents can fly from wherever in the country and can come and meet their grandchildren. They can have the time. Where I had hours, they can have days. Then now, usually the cuddle cot will stay with the family for the length of their stay, so 2 or 3 days. And then it's the family's choice to say goodbye, not the hospital.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, it doesn't make it any easier to do it that way, but it does make it better because it's their choice. And then they can have the pictures that they want. And then after that, and they go home, we'll step in and we'll help them even more. We'll help them with funeral expenses if they need to. We'll pay for their funeral expenses because no family should have that burden financially, especially when they weren't expecting it. We will help them with free support groups. We have ongoing monthly support groups in each county, in St. Lucie County, Martin County, and then we also pay for, if that's not enough, one-on-one counseling sessions. So it's a process. They're never alone. we're always there to help them.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Things happen in everybody's lives. Everybody's got their issues and the things that they face, their experiences, and it's tough. It's tough to go through. And what's really cool about you, man, this is tough.
Yeah, it is. It's very tough. And if you want to think about postpartum depression, it's really a difficult time. But if you don't have your baby, it can be deadly. We also give hospitals a care basket. And in these care baskets, we have a bear that they can hold for their empty arms. And, it sometimes just that hug just means so much. And they have a journal they can write in and put their thoughts and feelings, and have a mom of an angel pin and bracelet, and, forget-me-not seeds. And, we have people all around the community crocheting blankets that can wrap their baby for a little while, and families can take home and have forever keepsake. Understanding that, number one, losing a child, no matter what age, is the worst thing that can happen to anyone at any time, whether it is an infant, a stillbirth, or even a grown child. That's not the natural order of things. The natural order of things is that parents are supposed to see their kids, and their kids are supposed to outlive their parents.
Yeah.
So, in a society where, children without a mom or dad are an orphan, you have a spouse that loses her other spouse is a widow. There is no word that can explain what it is to lose a child. There's just no word, because it's so awful. And believe it or not, this happens very, very often. Now, 1 in 4 will experience miscarriage or infant loss in this country. So it happens a lot. And educating the nurses and being there for the families afterwards, so they're not alone, will help them, and they can have a healthier closure. They can go on to have future children if they want. We even help them there as well by giving them resources about being, pregnant after a loss.
Yeah. You saved me there. I was getting a little choked up, but I want to finish what I was saying. I think you're such an amazing person, because it's tough, and tough is such a weak word for that, to go through something like that. And you have turned it into such an amazing thing, a helpful thing, a resource. And I can see when I'm around you and you talk about this, you beam with pride, and you've talked about it, and it is so fulfilling, so rewarding to see someone as great as you go through such an amazing journey like that, and feel those amazing things that you can feel about what Madison is giving to the world. Like, that's amazing.
I'm so proud to be her mother, but let me tell you, this was not an easy road for me. I was down. I was depressed. I didn't want to get out of bed. I had no counselor. I had no help. By creating Madison's Miracles and giving these families everything I didn't have, it's brought me so much healing, more than I thought that I could ever deserve, So I'm proud to be her mother, and I'm proud to meet these families that come to me and say, I'm so grateful for you, because, aren't we here to help our neighbors?
Yeah.
It's a time right now where there's so much anger and so much despair, but all we need to do is be kind to one another.
Yeah.
And this is my daughter's legacy. And I'm building a name for herself. And all these families, I'm teaching them how to honor their baby, never to be forgotten, because that's the worst thing you can do, is not say their name and pretend it didn't happen. These families need to hear their baby's names. They have to have it, because it gives them so much joy that people remember.
Yeah. So one of the challenges you faced this year, you had a fundraiser that you were doing, and tell us a little bit about what it was going to be and what happened.
Well, we first had planned a remembrance walk and 5K run for babies gone too soon on May 2nd. And of course, we were right in the middle of the lockdown pandemic. And it was heartbreaking because this is an event that we have at the Memorial Park in Stewart every year where families can honor their baby. They dress up. They all have matching t-shirts. We have a photo booth. We have a DJ. We have food and they run, they walk, and it's just so much energy. And we had to cancel and postpone it for next year because of what's going on. Now, our organization is only 4 years old, and we aren't getting grants at this time. So the only way that our programs and services are funded are from donations and from our events. And we had planned a masquerade ball for October, and some people are going to be hearing this for the first time right now because I haven't had a chance to get that out yet, but we are going to have to postpone that until the spring. So that means 2022 events are going to put us back. I mean, now that we don't see each other much in person, our in-person counseling expenses have definitely gone up.
Yeah.
And being isolated doesn't help this situation because mental health is so important. And if you're not in your right frame of mind, you can't be a good wife, a good mother. If you have other siblings, I've got some families that just have each other and they just feel so isolated because they lost their first child.
Yeah.
So it's been very, very difficult.
Those are all great points to be made. And I think to add to that, if you guys are watching on YouTube, you can go down below and there is a link to her website. There's a link to straight up go right to the donation section. If you're watching this on Facebook, it's probably up above here. Talk to us a little bit more about those cuddle cots. And you shared a story with me about the hospitals and the decisions that they got to make in certain situations. And man, I remember that hit me like a sack of bricks. And I was like, holy smokes. And that is one of the things that really pushed me to start this party for you. Go ahead, share that part of it.
Okay. Well, as I spoke about before, the cuddle cot gives time. It gives time to these parents to absorb what's going on. But in hospitals, we have put a cuddle cot in each hospital here on the Treasure Coast. And some of these hospitals only have one cuddle cot. Now, what does that mean? If we have families that have more than one loss or multiple families having loss at the same time, we have one cuddle cot. So which family gets to use the cuddle cot? How do you make that decision? Is it first come, first serve? That's not fair either. So by placing more than one cuddle cot in a hospital gives that pressure off of the nursing staff, hospital staff to choose which family is more deserving to receive a cuddle cot. And that breaks my heart because, it is happening and it's happening in multiples. And it's happening more often than you realize. You think, oh, it only happens 1 in every 6 months. No, sometimes some months they have 5 in a month. Sometimes they have 2. Sometimes they go a month without having one, but then boom, boom, boom. But there are times in the hospital when somebody's already using a cuddle cot and another family is delivering a stillbirth.
Yeah.
So the cuddle cot isn't a real expensive piece of equipment, but it does cost $3,000. And what a hospital gets with that $3,000 is they get a cuddle cot. They have a plate that goes on the cuddle cot dedicated to a baby who has gone too soon. So we honor a baby at each hospital, or at each cuddle cot is in memory of a baby gone too soon. The hospital receives these hospital packets, which include all of this resource material on how to donate breast milk to maybe, feel like you're doing something at this point, because that's the last thing a family's thinking about, is donating their breast milk. We have different partners that work with us to give them free things. And our friend Amy Lands, she made a beautiful book called Navigating the Unknown, and it's a guide for pregnancy and infant loss. So, we're there, and our friends at ACOC Funeral Home help us with the funerals and expenses and all that kind of stuff. And they get a lot, and then they don't get the hospital packets once. They get the hospital packets anytime that they want. So if they start running low, they email us and say, we're running low on hospital packets. We need some more cuddle bears. And we just drop everything and get it over there to each of the hospitals. So, and we personally visit the hospitals to see if there's any problems, and, if they need help with their equipment and their machines.
Yeah. So obviously cash is king. That's the thing that really kind of feeds all of these organizations. If somebody doesn't have cash, or they've given you a bunch of cash and they want to do more, what else do you guys need that people can help you?
We always are looking for volunteers. Once our events come back, we always need volunteers for that. But we also need volunteers in the office, where we put together these hospital packets and the care baskets and stuff like that. So we love volunteers. We are trying to find creative ways of fundraising right now. We did start something really interesting. It's called the Flamingo Fundraiser. And what people do is flock their friend's business or their home. If they're having a party, somebody had a 60th birthday party, and we flocked flamingos out in front of their house. It brings awareness. It brings support. Yep. Any donations welcome. So our board member, Amy Thornton, has helped us with that idea, and she's out there working effortlessly to get these flamingos all over the place, from Fort Pierce all the way down to Jupiter.
Yeah. I don't know if you can see it. Amy just came on and said, "Love you, lady." Can you see that up there?
I see it. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. If these guys want to volunteer, how can they get in touch with you?
They can email me at info@madisonsmiracles.org. On our website, there is a Contact Us tab. They can also contact us there. It's madisonsmiracles.org.
Okay, I'm going to put that down in the comments, and right now I'm going to see if I can share that up here. So
info
at madisonsmiracles.org, and then you go to the Contact Us tab.
Website.
Guys, again, we're throwing a great Madison's Miracles White Party at the Grand Construction Model, and it's going to be on September 3rd, 6:30 to 9. If you can come, we would absolutely love it. I want to fill that house. I want to have a great time. We're going to have drinks there. There's going to be incredible prizes that you are not going to want to miss, and all of the funds are going to go directly to Madison's Miracles. And you can know this is the biggest thing. This is what's grabbing me, man, is knowing that some family who otherwise would not have a cuddle cot and will go through that experience in a more challenging way, you can give them something. You can give them something so they can have at least a little bit better experience, a little bit more time in that situation. I honestly can't even imagine. Like, that's amazing. What you do is amazing. And I sincerely
Thank you for helping us get the word out. And awareness is the key too. You will never know what it feels like. And we always pray that this does not happen to any of you, but you may know somebody that has gone through it. And if they want to volunteer, because usually giving back is very, very helpful, very helpful.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited for this party. We've got some of our angel families are going to attend, and they want to share their stories with you. So they are so excited.
Yeah, that'll be a pretty amazing event. I appreciate it. If you guys want to check out the event, either on YouTube down below or Facebook up above, there is a link you can go to. It's the Facebook event page, and you can just click RSVP to know you're coming, and then we can plan for you coming. But I just appreciate it. Thank you, Christina. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, you guys have a great evening. Thank you again.